How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. If you guys have, thank you guys for the love and support. At the time of recording this video, we are at 90 subscribers strong. And make sure to head over to Twitch, friend, and follow me for free there at Douglas447. It's got a Detective Pikachu picture. Again, that's Douglas447, capital D. And in this video, we're going to be continuing on reading through The Final War. This is The Final War, Hunters Hunted Part 2. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out Part 1, make sure you guys go ahead and do that before you guys continue on in this video. And if you guys are reading along with me, we're going to be on page 20, chapter 13, Fire and Water. So just to do a really quick recap, basically the Corps has been completely wiped out. Unit Alpha has lost a couple of its members, and they're on their hunt to locate 7 relic keys, and they just found out that the Holy Trinity survived the onslaught on the planet Sonic in the first book, and Ashbeka tried to escape from his prison, and the second time he does so, he will actually escape the entire base. So, hope you guys enjoy part 2 of The Final War, Hunters Hunted. Enjoy. Chapter 13, Fire and Water. Location, the STC-40. Good morning, everyone, said Douglas. Unit Alpha was inside of the armory, suiting up to locate the relic key and repair the ship from the damage done by the giants. How are we going to locate the relic key on this volcano planet? Asked Chad. I would like to know how we're going to fix the ship's engine so it'll fly again with our limited replacement parts, said Peter. Take this, said Douglas, handing Chad a hand device. What is this device? Asked Laura, looking at the object. It is a device I invented last night. It is called the PAL, or the Perfect Alpha Locator. It is a handheld scanner to locate relics. The map will guide you to the location of a relic on the planet. No entering coordinates necessary, replied Douglas. What do you want us to do next? Asked Chad. Take Peter and Laura with you to hunt for the relic key. The PAL says it is the heart of a the PAL says it is at the heart of a volcano 2 clicks west of here, while the rest of us repair the STC-40, said Douglas. Chad, Peter, Laura walked out of the armory and left the ship, while Douglas, Amy, Devin, and Brittany walked out of the ship to begin the repairs as a group. As the group of 3 left the area, Chad and Laura began to talk. Can I tell you that ever since we started our jobs with the Corps, that I have been madly in love with you? Asked Chad. Yes. However, what do you think that means to me? Asked Laura. Do you like me? Asked Chad. No, I don't like you. But I love you, replied Laura. Before you knew it, Chad and Laura were falling in love. Peter watched as this took place and made his heart break because he had feelings for Laura too. His feelings were ones of love, and the fact that Chad had decided to make a move on her made him furious. As time passed on, Laura realized that not only did she have feelings for Chad, but she also loved Peter. Being torn between which man she would eventually marry in the future was making her mind go crazy, and her heart have confusing feelings. After about another hour of walking through the maze of tall volcanoes and the dark sky from the rising smoke from the structures, the group of 3 arrived at the coordinates of the PAL. Are you sure that this device is working properly and not broken? Asked Peter. Yes, the PAL says the relic key is here, said Chad. Where? Inside of the volcano? Asked Peter. Yes, replied Chad, pointing towards the tunnel that led into the volcano they were standing in front of. You've got to be joking, said Laura. I'm not. I'm not. We have no choice but to travel into the volcano, said Chad. One by one they entered the crammed tunnel and soon came upon an opening with a relic key lying on the ground. Everyone exited the tunnel, and Chad placed the relic key in his pants pocket for safekeeping. I'm going to be right back and go get a glass of water. Okay, that's better. That wasn't too hard, said Peter. That's funny. Too easy if you ask me to collect such a powerful and hidden relic, said Laura. Agreed, said Chad. Suddenly the ground began to shake. Everyone looked down at the ground to see the gravel turn red and realized a troublesome truth. The volcano was erupting and they were in the center tube. The team of three quickly crawled into, through, and out of the tunnel, while lava followed closely behind them. Run for it! Yelled Laura. While running away from the erupting volcano, 6 oddly looking creatures began running towards the group of humans and away from the lava as well. What are those things? Asked Peter. They are slugmas. They are the most common creatures on Tom Bomb and are fire-breathing slugs, answered Chad. After running desperately for their lives for minutes without end, the group saw a split in the land in front of them. Chad looked at Peter and Laura to realize they were thinking what he was thinking, leap over the crack-like river while the lava runs downwards. The unit increased their running speed and when the timing was right, leaped over the crack and landed on the other side. Look, said Laura. Instead of continuing their return to the rest of Unit Alpha, they watched as the 6 slugmas were covered in lava, yet were not injured at all. The slugmas bounced over to the other side of the land, using their tiny bouncy feet, and scared the humans so much they began to run for their lives again. Great! We escaped the lava that is going back underground, and met slugs that want us for lunch at the same time. This is certainly not what I wanted to do today, said Peter. Once the group of 3 humans reached the location of the STC-40, Chad quickly rushed his friends back inside and to the command bridge. What's going on? Asked Douglas. A volcano erupted and led 6 slugmas to kill us, replied Chad. Did you get the ship repaired completely yet? Asked Peter. Yes, answered Douglas. Suddenly, fireballs impacted the glass window of the command bridge, but did not melt it because of the shields. Unit Alpha looked to see the 6 slugmas in front of the STC-40 firing fireballs from their mouths and trying to melt the ship. Shields are at 95% and slowly dropping, said Devin. Everyone take your positions. Devin, get us off of this planet and towards Tricken. Chad, take those creatures out already, ordered Douglas. Chad activated the ship's weapon system and fired missiles to kill the slugmas, while the STC-40 hovered off of the planet. Within seconds, the missiles killed the bouncy slugs, and Unit Alpha was in outer space, ready to head to the nearby planet of Tricken. Chad left his post on the command bridge and handed from his pants pocket the relic key of Tom Bomb to Douglas. Great work, Chad. I think that one day you'll make a great commander of your own ship, your own fleet, and perhaps your own unit, said Douglas, before leaving the bridge to place the relic key in the armory. Thank you, Commander, said Chad, even though he had evil plans for the Corps commander. When Douglas returned from the armory, Chad also returned the PAL to the one of rare and true blood, while Amy began to see something different about Chad, Peter, and Laura ever since they left the STC-40 on Tom Bomb. Location: Lambda. Who goes there? Asked the Doctor Transformer. I am who I am, replied God, with Jesus and the Holy Spirit besides him. The Holy Trinity, yelled the Transformer. No need to yell, Ratchet. We teleported into your underground base on this planet to speak with your leader about a treaty, said God. I don't have the authority to give you such an audience, said Ratchet. Then who might? Asked God. Ratchet looked behind the Holy Trinity to tell... Hang on, I think I'm skipping a page. No, we're good. Ratchet looked behind the Holy Trinity to inform them they were other Transformers in the laboratory room. Ironhide, I can explain, said Ratchet. Please explain to me, Bumblebee, and RC, how and why we have guests in this base that are not planned to be visiting without Prime's permission, said Ironhide, being second in command of the good Transformers. They teleported here by their own means to speak with our leader, replied Ratchet. What is going on here? Asked the Transformer, which was taller than the others. Commander Prime, we have special guests that wish to speak with you about a treaty, said Ratchet. Guests that did not inform us they were coming, said Ironhide, aiming his cannon-like arms at the 3 Corps members. Stand down, Ironhide, and leave them alone. I think it would be unwise to shoot at the Holy Trinity, said Commander Prime. Ironhide lowered his cannons and hoped Optimus Prime knew what he was doing. Welcome to our home, at least what is left of it, said Optimus. Thanks. However, we do not have much time for play. I want to make a treaty with you and your friends to join the Corps. In recent days, an army called the Regime has nearly destroyed the Corps and conquered the universe, said God. I have heard of this rising regime with its leader being Halo Shadow and his many generals. Am I correct? Said Optimus. Yes, things have happened such as Ashbeka being taken hostage and the regime having the evil Transformers on this planet side with him, said God. You mean that Team Doom wasn't destroyed by the nuclear missile we sent to destroy their base in the past? Asked RC, the smallest robot of all. Correct. So my question is, will your team help the Corps defeat Team Doom and end the regime? Asked God. Team Bravo will do what it can to put evil out of business, replied Optimus Prime. Location, the STC-40. Douglas, we have arrived. Oh, okay, hang on. We have arrived at the formerly ARM-controlled planet of Tricken, said Devon. So what can we plan on encountering on this planet that once was ARM-controlled? Asked Brittany. Tricken is a swamp planet, similar to the planets Thin Line in No Man's Land and Kun in Sector 13. It is known for giant killer whales and the theory that the Loch Ness Monster lives in a lake on the planet also, answered Douglas. Within moments, Devon landed the STC-40 on the planet, and Unit Alpha exited out of the vessel using the ARC-170 armored jeep. Peter took the back gun, Chad and Laura took the front guns, Devon drove, Douglas used the PAL to determine the location of the next relic key, and Amy and Brittany scouted around for enemies as the unit passed through the swampy area. Have you located the relic key yet? Asked Amy. I have its location, but I don't think you guys will like it, replied Douglas. What is the worst place it could be? Asked Brittany. It is located underwater, in the lake where, in theory, the Loch Ness Monster lives, answered Douglas. What direction? Asked Devon. 50 clicks north of our current position, replied Douglas. Devon turned to ARC-170, so the team began heading north and arrived at the coordinates given on the PAL in Douglas's hands. The area of the planet was gloomy, and silently and deadly sounds could be heard. At times, the swamp planet made Unit Alpha feel like they were driving through a haunted graveyard. However, once the team arrived at a misty lake, it ceased. We have arrived, said Douglas, looking at the PAL. Unit Alpha left the ARC-170 to see what appeared like floating bodies in the lake. Once they got closer to the lake's water, they saw 20 giant killer whales floating above the water. What was even scarier was the sight of missing organs and tissues like eyeballs and hearts. I hate to break it to everybody, but I think the Loch Ness Monster is not a theory, but a reality, said Brittany, freaking out that something was in the lake the relic key was also in. We don't have a choice. If we don't get the relic key, then Halo remains immortal and will take over the universe, said Douglas. Douglas looked into the other members of his unit deeply to see if they truly wanted to put an end to Halo, the regime, and evil. After a couple seconds, Unit Alpha put away their fear of the creature eating them and stealthily entered the water to retrieve the relic key. Look, said Amy softly. Unit Alpha looked where Amy pointed her arm to see the Loch Ness Monster resting in the lake. Everyone keep silent and use sign language from here on out. Make sure you stay together and do not get lost in the mist, said Douglas quietly. Each of the unit members moved slowly in the water to prevent the making of waves to awaken the deadly creature. After walking through the lake for 2 minutes, Douglas signaled his friends to halt in their walk and that the relic key was underwater where they were standing. Douglas signaled his allies to remain still while he dove underwater to collect the relic key. Douglas sunk his body very slowly and soon was gone from sight. Douglas swam and swam deeper underwater towards a bright blue light that was emanating from the seabed. Douglas knew it was the location of the relic key because of the blue light shining in the murky water. Douglas reached for the relic key and placed it in his pocket while beginning to lose air capability. Douglas quickly rushed for the surface while trying to gasp for air, but taking in water. Amy and the rest of the team began to worry that Douglas had drowned. However, Douglas bursted out of the water and put the worry to end. Douglas gasped for air and spit out the water he had ingested while collecting the third relic key. Amy quickly hugged and kissed her husband and informed him that everyone thought he had died. While Unit Alpha made all the commotion, the deadly sea creature awoke and sunk underwater to have its meal. Unit Alpha began making their way back to land, and the ARC-170 to return to the STC-40, not noticing the sea creature was no longer at its resting place. "This hunt for these relics sure does have its dangers," said Peter. "At least no dangers like having to battle a hungry sea creature," said Laura, as Unit Alpha walked onto the shore and began entering the ARC-170. Suddenly, the Loch Ness Monster splashed out of the lake and onto the land. "Open fire and kill that thing!" yelled Douglas. Chad and Laura dashed into the front machine gun emplacements on the ARC-170 and began pumping the Loch Ness Monster full of lead. Devin, Douglas, Amy, and Brittany drew out their lightsabers while Peter fired his blaster rifle. "Go for the leg," said Peter, advising the members with lightsabers of its weak points. The 4 members with lightsabers charged directly at the sea monster when Peter was slammed by the creature's tail, tossed against a rock, and lost the ability to continue in the fight. The bullets continued to rain from the ARC-170, hurting the creature while he tried to smash the members with lightsabers with its fin-like feet. Suddenly the creature whipped Douglas, Devin, and Brittany against the same rock near Peter, leaving Amy to battle the creature alone. "Amy, get out of there!" exclaimed Douglas. Amy lunged her lightsaber quickly at the Loch Ness Monster in a spinning motion, and the weapon sliced the creature's head off from the rest of its body. Chad and Laura ceased fire, and everyone watched as the Loch Ness Monster's body collapsed into the lake and sunk deep underwater, disappearing forever. Everyone returned to the ARC-170 once they complimented Amy on taking the sea creature out and watched her retrieve her lightsaber near the creature's head. Within 10 minutes, Unit Alpha had reached the STC-40's position. Once the ARC-170 was placed in the ship's hangar bay, Douglas placed the relic key of Trickon in the armory and ordered Devin to head for the next planet on the list, Licton. While on the way to Licton, the unit wondered why God would have had them go to Licton instead of Lanik. "Just makes no sense at all. We are burning more fuel, leaving the area of Sector 8 and 9 and going farther east towards Sector 10. I don't understand his reasoning," said Chad. "Perhaps there is something of value to be learned about while on Licton, and it seems to me your trust in God is low as of late," said Douglas. "I trust God and the rest of the Trinity completely. However, I don't feel that means I should not question their ways to make sure it is good for the good of the universe," said Chad. I think you like to question the Holy Trinity because you don't believe in them like you said back on Earth," said Douglas in his mind about Chad's disbelief. Location: Sector 13, near Kun. "Darth Update, Octopunny, and I have located Unit Alpha's ship, aka the STC-40, said Satan, on board a regime ship. "Where is it headed?" asked Darth Update. "The planet Licton," replied Octopunny. "Set a course after them, so we can eliminate Unit Alpha once and for all," said Darth Update. Chapter 14, Freezing. Location: the STC-40. Whoa, don't kick the camera. "Douglas, we have arrived in Sector 10 and will be landing on the planet Licton in a few minutes," said Devin, piloting the ship. "What are the dangerous creatures that we should be aware of on this planet since it was controlled by the Arm during past wars?" asked Brittany. "Hopefully not much, yet Licton is known for its electronic rhinos and talking pandas," said Douglas. "Don't forget about the freezing temperatures that make it worse than Pluto, and the really hungry beasts on it also," said Chad. Douglas, what beast does Chad refer to? Asked Brittany. Douglas looked at Chad and gave a look that he did not know the answer to Brittany's question. Douglas does not have the memory that Licton is also known for its blue-colored raptors, said Chad. Raptors? Who really thinks I'm going to land this ship with knowledge of raptors roaming the planet, said Devon, getting scared as his girlfriend Brittany. Not only that, but we would be walking on foot, said Brittany. Negative. We'll take the Ark 170. This will be a quick collect and escape mission. No sightseeing, said Douglas. Everyone agreed Douglas's plan was okay and knew they were landing on a very dangerous planet. As a new day came about, Devon began hovering about Licton's surface to allow Amy to scan the planet for creature presence in the area. Anything? Asked Douglas. Negative, replied Amy. Good to know, because Brittany and I are scared of being dinner for these blue raptors Chad speaks of, said Laura. Don't worry, Laura. I'll protect you, said Peter. Good to know we have people that want to protect each other. So, Devon, land the ship and prepare the Ark 170 for departure, said Douglas. Devon landed the STC-40 and Unit Alpha boarded the Ark 170 inside of the ship's hangar bay. While the armored jeep drove upon the snowy ground, the team was greeted by the freezing temperatures of 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Douglas activated the PAL and was shown the coordinates on the device's screen. Where's the next relic key so we can collect it before you freeze to death in your spring-like clothing? Asked Devon, the driver. The relic key is located on the top of a mountain 2 clicks south of our current position, said Douglas, while the Ark 170 was heading west. Devon changed the direction, and within 10 minutes Unit Alpha arrived at the coordinates. The unit left behind the Ark 170 and walked up to the edge of the mountain that the PAL said the relic key had at its top. Are we going to venture to the top of that thing without being killed if we fail? How are we going to venture to the top without being killed if we fall? Asked Laura. I think I can teleport, answered Douglas. Just before Douglas used his powers, the team quickly was surrounded by electronic rhinos with electricity balls on their horns, talking pandas with razor-sharp claws, and blue-colored raptors. The unit aimed their blaster rifles and prepared their lightsabers to battle the forces that greatly outnumbered them. After staring at each other, one of the talking pandas left the circling forces and introduced himself. My name is James, said the talking panda. Tell your odd friends to allow us to pass, or prepare to die, said Douglas, finding it odd he was talking with a cute and deadly animal. I'm afraid I can't tell my friends to leave. We have orders from our leader to bring any visitors to him, and to him alive, said James. Take us to your leader. However, we keep our gear, said Douglas. Fine, said James. The army of creatures escorted Unit Alpha around the left side of the mountain and into an enormous cave entrance, which led into the mountain. It was a dark passageway for a few moments, and after 20 seconds, lit candles and hanging lamps gave light in the darkness. The team walked and walked what seemed for an age through the home of hundreds of rhinos, pandas, and raptors living in harmony. After walking through the shelters of uncountable creatures, the team left the cave. After walking through the shelters of uncountable creatures, the team caved to the cave. Let's try this again. After walking through the shelters of uncountable creatures, the team came to the cave's end to see a gigantic metal creature standing in front of them. Welcome, said the machine creature. My commander, these humans were found staring at the top of this mountain, said James, the talking panda. My name is Devastator, and I demand you tell me what business you have here, asked the machine creature, with a gigantic mouth with the ability to suck up things and crush them, and missile launchers on his shoulders. We are looking for a relic, said Douglas, separating from the group to show he was the leader of the group. What sort of relic? Asked Devastator. My unit is looking for relics to make an enemy of ours mortal, replied Douglas. Too bad. I'm a Transformer bounty hunter that has been searching for a certain relic, called the Machine, to have revenge on my brother, said Devastator. What is the Machine, and who is your brother, if I might ask? Asked Douglas. The machine is a hand cannon that has the firepower to destroy entire planets at the pull of a trigger. I once was John Lasky until I was killed by a bullet to my head. My brother, Nathan Lasky, is a genius with machines and decided to have me be his first test subject on his technology. He transferred my mind from my human body into this ugly machine, making me Devastator. I plan to use the machine to destroy the planet he is on, so no one else will have to suffer the way I do and eventually rule the universe, said Devastator. Unit Alpha realized they had met an evil Transformer, that if he met the regime, he would become a great enemy to the core. As Devastator continued talking about his past, Douglas used the PAL in secret to realize the relic key was right above him. Douglas used his powers to teleport, collect the relic key, placed it in his pockets, teleported again to place several packages of C4 outside of the mountain near the entrance of the cave to trap the evil creatures, and finally teleported back to his squad. What was a shocker to Douglas was he teleported so fast that no one and nothing saw him teleport. I have the relic key, said Douglas, whispering softly so only his friends could hear what he said. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Devastator, but we do have a person of interest we want killed, and if you allow us to leave since we're no threat, that would be great, said Douglas. As long as you leave on your ship with no little stops, then I'll grant you to leave. However, if you double-cross me, then the war will be on between you and me, said Devastator, looking deeply into Douglas's eyes. Agreed, replied Chad, diffusing the tension between the two leaders. Unit Alpha slowly walked away from Devastator and was escorted through the mountain city to the cave entrance. Do you have a plan to stop Devastator from obtaining the machine? Asked Peter. Yes, and the plan was put into motion while I got the relic key, said Douglas. What plan? Asked Amy. I thought this mountain could use a little construction on the cave entrance. I think C4 will do the trick, said Douglas. The team smiled at their leader, and he smiled back, while they walked out of the cave and continued walking back to the ARC 170. Unit Alpha entered the armored jeep, and Devon drove away from the area. Faster, Devon! I don't want to activate the C4 and have a dust cloud kill us from the exposure, said Douglas. How many explosives did you place? Asked Laura. A package of 10,000 pounds, replied Douglas. Dear God, you plan to kill everyone outside of the cave? Said Laura. You are wrong with that statement, Laura. I plan to kill every evil creature inside of the cave, including that dangerous Transformer that gave us information about a powerful relic, and a curious man, replied Douglas. Douglas reached into his pocket, pressed a button on a trigger, and detonated the C4. The cave's entrance collapsed, and within seconds dust took over the airspace, eliminating oxygen and carbon monoxide. All the electronic rhinos, talking pandas, and blue raptors were killed or injured so badly from fallen boulders that they would die soon. Males, females, and children of all creature types were killed. However, Devastator was untouched. While the mountain continued to fall to the ground, Devon drove the ARC 170 into the STC-40's hangar bay, and Unit Alpha exited out only to see a terrifying sight. Devastator using his powerful mouth to open a passageway out of the cave. You double-crossed me, Douglas, and now you and your friends must die, yelled Transformer, so loud the team heard the Transformer miles away. I want to apologize. I am outside, so if there's some noise you're hearing, probably because my neighbors are having a party next door. There we go. Unit Alpha dashed for the ship's command bridge and began the takeoff procedures, while Devastator finally dug himself out of the cave. You're not leaving this planet that easily, said Devastator. Devastator aimed the STC-40 and fired missiles from his shoulders to destroy the ship. Incoming missiles! Yelled Amy. Chad, said Douglas. No problem, said Chad. Chad pressed two buttons and released counter flares to destroy the inbound missiles, causing an explosion so great that Devastator couldn't tell if the ship was eliminated. Within 10 seconds, the dust cloud cleared away, and Devastator realized his target was still alive. "You might have some firepower on that ship, but it will not save you from the machine," said Devastator. Devastator activated his special engines and blasted off the planet Licton and headed for the planet Matkong to continue his quest of locating the machine. Location: the STC-40. Devon, plot a course for the planet Atlantic in Sector 9 to get the next relic key, said Douglas, leaving the command bridge to place the relic key from Licton in the ship's armory. "Will do, brother," replied Devon. And that's going to do it, guys. I'm going to end the video here. This has been part 2 of The Final War, Hunters Hunted. Look forward to part 3 coming out very soon. You guys all have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video and or stream.